forward to the big fight in 2 weeks. You know, Gervonta Davis made a prediction on the fight. He said one guy's bringing a metal shield, yourself, and the other guy's bringing a glass shield in Bud, and that's a big reason why you'll win the fight. What do you think of Tank's assessment of the fight?
You're right. It's going to be battle of the wheel, and who can break who down. And I know that I can break him down. I know that he's not as durable as me, and my skill set is going to overpower anything that he brings to the table.
What do you think about your skill set is going to be the most?
What's going on, people? It's your man, the YB, back once again. So, you've seen the headlines. Errol Spence says he knows he's going to break down Crawford. He knows he's more durable. Now, listen, I have to say fair play to Spence. Why? I mean, in the UK, we've been hearing AJ and Dillian White. Oh, I don't know how the fight's going to go. Oh, you know, I could just outbox him. I'm not saying that Terence Crawford or Spence is not going to outbox the other person. Well, to be fair, Spence, he doesn't really so much box people. He does tend to try and break you down. Now, if your name is Mikey Garcia, who refused to exchange, then he can struggle. But Crawford ain't like that. Crawford's not someone who going to shell up and just wait the fight out. I've never seen it happen. Now, is it possible that Errol Spence is so devastating that it shuts Crawford down? I don't think so. Why? Well, Errol Spence, with all due respect, couldn't shut Kell Brook down for the first 7 rounds until he ran out of gas. Yeah? Fair play. Errol Spence's engine was better than Kell Brook's. Crawford a different beast. Crawford, he gone up in weight. He got cardio for days. Yeah, and people have been making videos about Spence's face looking sunken in. I mean, I did a video myself a few weeks ago saying that Spence looks a bit big and fluffy. And I was surprised at the time this fight got made so quickly. It was within about 8 weeks before the date it got announced. I thought, what? And then shortly after that, Errol Spence said, oh, I'm in training camp now. So it was like, Spence had a 9-week camp, allegedly. It could have been mind games. Spence could have been in camp for a while. I don't know. But he does look a little bit like he off the oxy. Like he's like a bit, I don't know. Maybe it's just him anyway, but he look a bit dazed. Yeah, them oxys, them oxys and them perks, man. They be hitting different in Texas apparently. Yeah, listen, I'm excited for this fight, obviously. Tank Davis jumping on the bandwagon. Oh yeah, Errol Spence has got a metal shield and Terence Crawford's got a glass shield. Tank, you want to worry about having a real fight shield. You understand? You see that one? Yeah. Tank need to worry about fighting someone at 135. Who with it? Shakur, Devin. Who else is there? Even Loma. I mean, Tank's been ducking Loma. That's what you want to talk about metal shield. Tank ducked Loma for the last 5 years. Facts. Loma was on that. Floyd was saying, oh man, Loma's old and we going in our own direction and Loma's old and, you know, what's that thing Floyd always says? He says, I don't know, but yeah, you best believe he was politicking. Yeah? So with all due respect, Tank, you don't really know what it is to have any type of shield because you've gone in there with bums for your whole career. No? You understand that one? You have to know a bit. Listen, Tank's a great boxer. I actually think Tank's... Well, I'll tell a lie. I need to see Shakur in a real fight first. But I think Tank's the most dangerous one for sure. Shakur can't punch. So Tank can punch. But again, we've never seen Tank really tested. We've never seen Shakur really tested. Either way. My point is... Yeah. Tank, sit down somewhere. And let the big boys handle this one. Let Crawford and Spence are doing what Tank never dreamed of doing. Having a proper fight. Yeah? So sit down somewhere. 100%. Go and spend another 30 days in jail and reflect on your dustiness. But get into the technical element now. Technical side. I mean, I'm backing Crawford to win this. I was going to put a lot of money on it, but the way boxing's been going, I can't do it. I'm going to put $50 on. Not a lot, but still. I'll put $50 on Crawford to win on points. A lot of people are shilling a stoppage. However, I do have to say, a lot of the people who be shilling a stoppage, oh, Spence could knock him out, oh, Crawford could knock him out, I don't see their betting slips. Yeah? Crawford's never been down. Did Spence go down? No, Spence got rocked against Ugas. Never been down, though. Yeah, both men, we've rarely seen rocked. But then again, if there's ever a fight for someone to get rocked, it's going to be this one. Crawford can punch. Spence can punch. I just think Crawford's too dynamic. I think Spence, who's a southpaw, he's going to lose a lot of them advantages against Crawford. Crawford can mix it any other way he wants. And that's going to be new for Spence. When was the last time Spence fought a southpaw? Couldn't tell you. No one of top level anyway. It's definitely not Crawford's level. I can see Crawford hitting this guy from all angles eventually. Why do I say that? Well, Spence is drained at the weight, potentially had a short camp. Also, he's had all the damage, his eye and whatever else. We know, look at Kell Brook. Yes, Spence's eye wasn't damaged in a fight, but still, it adds up. It's cumulative. All these factors. I actually struggle. Well, tell a lie. Spence has one good factor in his favour. His size. He's noticeably bigger than Crawford. However, what's ringing in my ear is Josh Taylor. Now, Errol Spence ain't no Josh Taylor in terms of being finished. But still, Josh Taylor was huge compared to Teofimo. But I think we're learning more now in this game that people who hang around too long, bear in mind, Josh Taylor's been a career 140. He hung around a bit too long and he started to look flat. Yeah? Even Spence's last fight, which was a year ago, people, he's a year older. Yeah? Which is only harder. You don't get smaller as you get older. He's a year older, still at this weight. And what do we know? In his last fight, he was rocked by a man who can't punch. Ugas. Yeah? Rocked him. Facts. The first time I've seen Errol Spence rocked, and that was a year ago. That's a year less of water he's going to have in his brain. That means a year less stability. It's no wonder he's looking like he off the perk. Because he's delirious with it. Do you know what I mean? But again, it's sport. I have to put it down to the bottom line. That Teofimo fight tells me that Crawford's going to win. Yeah, because when you're going up in weight, Crawford's growing, he's eating, he's strong at the weight. Spence himself has said, if it wasn't for this fight, and that's where I do respect Spence. I respect Spence to the highest degree as a man. Because he's been complaining for a while. He's tired, he's drained at the weight. He could have easily been drained at the weight and done one of them once. I'm going up in weight, can't wait around. He chose to wait around against his own interest to try and do something great for the sport. So I salute him for that. And that's why really, I think Crawford's going to win, but the only winner here is boxing. There's no loser here. Genuinely, as long as there's no robberies, I'm going to be happy for the winner, bottom line. Even, truth be known, obviously everyone hates losing money, but if I put $50 on Crawford and Spence genuinely wins, I'm going to be happy for him. And I can't remember the last time that was the case. I've never been happy to lose money, but I'll be happy. That's the same reason I'm buying a pay-per-view. The first time in 5 years I've bought any of them. This one's a real. I'm trying to think. Name me another fight that was real like this. I can't tell you. This is the proper. This is the Shakur versus Tank. This is the. I'd say this is even better than that, truth be known. This is the. Over the last 10 years or more in boxing, I can't think of a fight better than this. Even Mayweather Pacquiao in its prime wasn't this. Both men have devastating hand power, which Floyd never had in the last 10 years when the Pacquiao fight was relevant. Both men are the pinnacle of athletes. Both men have a gas tank. Both men not only have the will to win, like Floyd had the will to win, he didn't have the will to put on a show and push on. I'll never forget Crawford versus Porter. after a few rounds, his trainer Bomac said, yeah, the judges might be think you're losing this. And Crawford come out fighting, proving a point. Same as Spence, for what it's worth, in the Kell Brook fight. In my opinion, he was getting boxed up in them first 6-7 rounds. It was a boxing lesson. He didn't get disheartened. He found a way and stopped the guy. Yeah. So yeah, boxing wins. Let me know your thoughts. I don't see him breaking Crawford down. If anyone gonna get, in my opinion, if anyone gets broken down, it's gonna be Spence. Why? I don't think Spence. Then again, Spence has been in there with Mayweather, but Mayweather ain't the same. But I don't think Spence has spent much time, which is the case for most boxers, to be fair. Most top boxers don't spend a lot of time getting touched. But when you do, when someone's hitting you and your shots ain't having the effect they used to have, you know what I mean? And the weight's draining down them last 3 or 4 rounds, and Crawford's just as strong and just as quick. Do you know? But then again, maybe Spence's size, maybe he's not weight drained and the size plays out. And Crawford's, because to be fair, Crawford versus Avanesian, Crawford's been the bigger fighter for most of his fights recently. I don't know how that makes sense, but he is. He's going to be the smaller fighter this time. So genuinely, I couldn't tell you what's going to happen. But this is fascinating. Let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button, subscribe, and let off the bell 100%.